I think we're live. Yeah.
I mean, yes, we are live. Am I live, though, is the question.
To be or not to be alive?
That is the question. I might be a ghost, so the professor is talking to my ghost now.
This got very meta. Well done.
Just like AEW television did this past
look at the
week.
Segue on that guy. Yeah.
Love that. Hello, all you beautiful BC WrestlePod nerds out there, and welcome to another rendition of the All Elite on Review, your AEW weekly show here at the BC WrestlePod networking syndicate, podcasting, YouTube, Twitch conglomeration, syndicate, vibrations, shamalama ding dong, onomatopoeia, supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Bro, that guy had vibrations in there.
We bring good vibrations. Is that? No, can't sing because we'll get copyright.
Don't get his flag. That's funny.
No, we don't need to do that again. But I am one of your hosts, Mikey, and joining me this week is the good professor, also known as John, our lovely ginger Mexican aficionado, part of the family.
Ginger Mexican sounds like that. Ooh, that might have to be my lucha. Is the ginger Mexican?
That is your new alias, the professor, aka
Mexican. I'm happy with that. I don't know. Ooh, I might have to get a custom mask for that.
I know a lot. The professor has been nice enough to share his family history with me behind the scenes. So I will just leave it at he is invited to the quince.
Oh, you're so kind. I love me a quince. Let's go. We'll find us a hotel. It's going to be great.
Love it. It's fantastic. So we are here to review this past week's AEW television programming, Dynamite from Wednesday, January 22nd, and AEW Collision from January 25th. Yes, I can count. I promise. A lot has happened. So before we get into all of that, really quickly, if you love what you see on your screen and you want a little bit more, go ahead and follow us on the social medias. We are on Facebook. We have YouTube and Twitch, obviously. We have an Instagram. We also have a Patreon, and we have TikTok and some other fun stuff. It's a good time. I have made this announcement earlier, but we, as a wrestling company, as a federation, as a, people who review the internets on the internets of wrestling, we have decided to not use Twitter moving forward. So that is a decision that we have talked about. And ultimately, I think it's a good idea just to make sure that we stay clear of the craziness for now.
We're following the lead of Hangman Adam Page, as it were.
Yo, honestly, though, Hangman is my hero, and I love him for it even more.
Had a hell of a showing of Dynamite, too. We'll talk about it.
Oh, absolutely. So, last but certainly not least, if you want to, support us, you can buy some merch. Link in the description of this video below. Get you a t-shirt, a sweater, a hoodie. Like, it is a great time. A sticker. We even have mugs. Mugs are great.
We need a Panini stencil. Like, then it's our face on the bread.
Yo, honestly, I'm so down for it. We're going to look to invest it.
Does anyone make those?
I don't know.
That makes those.
I mean, the internet has pretty much everything, so I would not be surprised.
The Biconics logo on like bread and tortillas and like just food that's randomly cooked. Waffles.
Instead of the face of Jesus, it's the face of us.
It's just a big will with
and will we trust, honestly. So now that we got that out of the way, let us begin, because AEW was really fun this week on both the Dynamite and Collision. So we are going to begin with, of course, AEW Dynamite. And we just decided to kick things off and give it everything with a bang. So this is what opened the show. We had the Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega face to face. I was like, well, hot dang, we are starting out with this. This is going to be interesting. So, of course, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega are in the ring prior to a certain interruption. Kenny has legit reasons for not trusting Will, and that's because Kenny got dropped on his head by Will with the Tiger Drivers. So, yeah, I'm like...
And that feels so long ago, doesn't it?
It kind of was long ago, but I was like, oh my gosh, continuity in AEW? That's wild.
Through line, we're actually doing something. Yeah, I want to say it was April a year ago. Like, it was a long time ago.
And I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, you know what, Kenny, you have a reason to not trust and like Will, because he gave you a Tiger Driver and kind of like took you out a little bit.
Yeah, and that was my match of the year. I believe was the same. That was my match of the year, was because that was the match that set the bar for the rest of the year. That late March, early April Dynamite or whenever that was, just remarkable.
It really good show. Of course, Will is in his babyface era, as the kids say. So he tries to apologize for it. But before they could get any further, they get interrupted by the Don Fallis family. We have our lovable question mark, like bald man of Don Fallis. The lovable bald man. We are not far enough in for me.
Call him lovable, I guess. Just because he's Canadian, he's kind of lovable.
I mean, that's very fair. But Don and the rest of the family interrupt, which ultimately leads into a brawl. The Don Callis family attacks Will and Kenny. They decide to go ham and defy all laws of physics by doing moonsaults off of balconies. And I'm just like,
man, this is how you go into this is what the Jeff Jarrett Condiments match in Chicago 2 years ago should have been, right? Go into the crowd, wreck house, because now you're reminding the crowd of what they just saw. There's the merch table, there's the hot dog vendor, right? And they trashed the place. It was so much fun. And what was great is they didn't just throw all of them out there at once, right? This could have gone south quick if it was just, let's override everybody. It was sending 2 at a time. There was this coordinated attack. The camera shots were great. The camera having to catch up and go around the seats to get to where Brian Cage and everybody else were. And then where we get to Ospreay, who must have fallen I mean, we have stuff to talk about. I won't spend too much time here. So captivating and so much fun. And then they climb the bleachers. They do moonsaults. They don't have to do that. And it freaked me out because I had a whole Jeff Hardy, oh God, not like this. You just came back.
Yeah.
Or Adam Copeland, like, please don't blow out your legs doing stuff like, but then it was beautiful.
It worked. And then, of course, these two climbed the scaffolding. They said that they want to face the Don Callis family, which we will get to later because that match gets officially made for a certain show. And then, of course, Kenny Omega does my favorite thing where he is also very hilarious. He's like, and on that note, good night and play my music.
And give me down. I'm afraid of heights. Great bit. Seeing the two of them be like, I hate you. I don't like you. And then them deciding their hatred of Lance Archer means more. So they suplex him onto the table.
Yeah,
it's quite funny.
Their hatred of Don Callis family is more.
There's something about the way that Will hits Kyle now that he's just trying to. I know they're friends. I know the plot lines. Whatever. Every time Will hits Kyle, it's like he's trying to kill him. They are not. That look like it hurts. He hits Brian Cage like it's a feather. Nothing ever happened. He hits Kyle like, oh my God. It was so much fun.
Honestly, this was a great opening segment. It's been a while since we had a fun opening segment like this where, I don't know, we're actually telling stories. That's crazy.
I will say, and you might be able to speak to this better than I can, Brian Cage looks like a member of the bear community now.
I feel, you know what? I mean, hey, I'm not going to.
It's like, oh, I know them boys from San Francisco. I know what you are. Okay, carry on. All right.
He is one harness away.
Just a little. He's one parade away from, I feel you.
You know what? Honestly, I feel like Brian Cage is a good ally vibes. Like, for real.
Oh, absolutely is. I've heard nothing but sweet things about that guy.
But also, hey.
I'm sure he's okay with it. Like, yeah, I can put me on a calendar. That's fine.
I bet he would. Anyways, all right. So moving on. This is a whole different show. So after this face-to-face, we get into our first match where I want to take a moment of silence for Private Party's Tag Team Championship run. Okay. So we end up getting an AEW World Tag Team Championship match in which at the beginning of this match, champions, Private Party defending their titles against the Hurt Syndicate of Bubbles Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. I wasn't expecting Private Party to not get as much offense. Like, I was kind of surprised. I know the Hurt Syndicate needs to go over, but I was like, damn, you guys.
This was almost a squash.
It really was. It was
the only thing that kept it from being a squash is that they gave him a full, I want to say almost 10, it looks like it's about 9 minutes. I'm trying to get a timestamp. They gave Private Party chances. They set up some good stuff. They didn't make him weak necessarily, right?
You're right.
But, oh man, Bobby and Shelton just look so good together.
Agreed.
I mean, I might be biased because I like them, but man, incredible. So I think playing up the sort of their powerhouse, they are powerhouses, no one's going to stop them, is great. I do feel bad that Private Party got FUCT on this, right? They just got crushed. Yeah. And they only had these titles for what, 2 months? A month?
Pretty much.
Yeah, that's tough.
I mean, I'm excited to see Hurt Syndicate get a run with this championships. Yeah. I'm just sad that we didn't get to do more with Private Party outside of 2 title defenses.
There were some interesting things with getting it to the outside of the ring, Shelton Benjamin setting up and stuff. So this was a fun match. Just storytelling wise, it's like a Private Party got crushed. Okay, I get it.
Fine.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm excited to see where Hurt Syndicate take these tag titles, and hopefully we have something for Private Party.
Yeah. And I'm not judging Private Party. They're athletes. they're way better athletes than me. But seeing the two of them next to Bobby and Shelton Benjamin, you're sort of like,
yeah,
you're not gonna make it.
You ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, I don't believe that you, unless something shenanigans, right? But
no. So we have new champions. Hurt Syndicate, our new tag team champions. We shall see what their first feud entails. And then this was the most Australian conversation ever, and I was here for it. So Tony Storm gets interviewed about, she has earned the right to face Mariah May at Grand Slam Australia. And then comes Harley Cameron, who's also from Australia. And then Tony and Harley just have a whole entire conversation in Australian where Renee is just like, what is even happening now?
Like it's another language.
Essentially, Tony tells Harley, because Harley wants to get on the card at Grand Slam Australia, and Tony Time tells her, you know what, just go do it. Figure out a way, see if you can get yourself on the card by having a match of some sort. And so basically, Harley's like, you know what, that's a good idea. I'm going to go figure that out. Lo and behold, we wouldn't have to wait very long to figure out how that goes. So we'll talk. Harley, we will see you in a little bit. Because after this segment, Jeff Jarrett. Basically,
go ahead.
Jeff Jarrett's final run. Wants to go after Mox in the title. Claudio lays him out and tells him that he ain't going to get to Mox. He has to go through him first. So that's what we're bullying the old man is essentially what this was.
Yeah, it's kind of tough that this actually started really strong. And I've been sort of meh on Jeff Jarrett for a long time. I respect him for what he's done. I know he's been around for a while. He's told that Jerry Lawler story about 100 times, right? Like, I feel like that story's come up a few times. Like, Jerry Lawler. Okay, I get it. I know. Okay, Jerry Lawler. This was a solid promo. The second half of this got weird because Claudio leaves but keeps the mic, which I'm like, why are you keeping the mic? And then all of a sudden Jeff Jarrett has one like, hey, turn around when I'm talking to you. It's like, okay.
The pacing was so weird.
You're gonna have to kill me. All right, he's gonna. What
Claudio
are we doing?
is going to bet.
I don't. It was a little weird.
Look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I agree with you, Professor, because I respect Jeff Jarrett and what he's meant and does for the business. But I didn't ask for a Jeff Jarrett title run in 2025. Like, nobody wants to see it. I mean, I stand corrected. There might be a few people. I am not one of them.
But not when Daniel Bryan's dropping the title at the end. Not when other folks are retiring and not needing the title run. Not when folks in other promotions are slowly fading away. Sting didn't need a title. So this is sort of do you just want Moxley to put you over one last time? Or what sort of run are you going to put together? Like, what are you going to try and show for it? So if he wants to do what Ric Flair did, no! What are you trying to do?
Minus the dying in your last match.
Yeah, like that's the thing. So I think they were on the right track. I think it's just arbitrary that it's Moxley to me, right? Am I crazy? It's just sort of pick one with anyone else, and I feel like it'd be like, okay, yeah, you can get some run out of this.
Not with Mox. Mox is going to kill you.
Hell, Jericho. Make it Jericho. Make it a dual retirement match.
Honestly,
I've always hated you. I hate you too. Bam. Okay, great.
Cool.
It's like Jericho anymore. Go ahead.
Honestly, I'd be here for that. But yeah, so we're getting Claudio and Jeff Jarrett next week. Sure.
Yeah.
But then my spirits were picked up because this was a banging match.
This was great.
Oh, absolutely. Swerve Strickland versus homie to the channel, AR Fox.
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen AR Fox in a bit of time. Was he hurt or just doing cool stuff someplace else?
He's just been doing cool stuff. I mean, he's had a couple of, he was been in Ring of Honor for like the last month or two. He was part of the pay-per-view back in December. And probably my favorite match of mine and Andrew's favorite match of that whole card, which was the fatal 5-way for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. And he almost made it to the final two, which was fantastic. Cool. It was great. Good. But we do get AR Fox versus Swerve Strickland. These two know each other very well. This is also
AR started out training Swerve, right? Isn't that the story when they were coming up?
Yep. And also these two have a past because they've also fought each other in Lucha Underground.
And then we had the whole, Nick Wayne murder thing that happened not too long ago.
Yeah, was
that 2 years ago? Jesus.
Something like that. Yeah, where Nick Wayne and AR Fox get attacked from Swerve, which was crazy. So this was a good match. This was
great.
A really solid match. I love this.
This was wild. Yeah. And, the two of them are doing things that they can probably not do with anyone else because timing-wise and otherwise, right? There's one thing they did. I'm trying to pull it up. Burger King ads. Sorry.
Hey, have it your way.
I'm not going to be able to find it. Ours sells so well, right? That it breaks my concentration. I'm like, oh, he dead. great. The house call looked vicious. Stuff going to the outside looked really, really tough. I'm trying to find it. There was almost a catch wrestling sequence in here where it was just sort of a beautiful give and take thing that happened for about 20 seconds where I was like, oh my God, look at them go. And then they went into the bigger stuff. This is fun.
Right.
This is a good, the momentum was solid here.
Oh, absolutely. And of course, we will talk about Mr. Strickland a little bit later in the evening. Again, I really, really love this match. This was fantastic. And this definitely helped carry the energy. And then I lost my mind in the best way possible. Because then we get this officially confirmed. Grand Slam Australia, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita and Kyle Fletcher. I'm just sitting here and I am very interested to see Kenny and Will's reception because now we are going to Kyle's house in Australia. So I'm excited. This match is going to slap. These four are going to kill it. It's crazy. So again, AR Fox Swerve, amazing. This, even more amazing.
They need a better picture of Kyle in that promo. That looked terrible.
Also, Takeshita also looks like he's going through it.
Yeah, those are
like
nuts.
Nah, we need to get better lighting. This was weird.
Yeah,
because he interrupts before Hangman gets to have his squash match.
So I get what they're trying to do. They really want MJ. They really want to push MJF as heel again. They just need to get quick, cheap heat, I guess. My understanding is, and I know I haven't been totally all in on the AEW stuff because I was away for a bit. It seems like MJF is struggling as far as promo and heel. Like they don't know really where to put him or where to feud him since Adam Cole was so good a year and a half ago.
Right. And I'm just like, okay, so who he fighting with next is my question. We still have yet to figure that out. I'm like, is he fighting with Hangman? I thought he was going after Jeff Jarrett.
I thought it was Jeff Jarrett. It would have been great if it was Jeff Jarrett because that would have been like, hey, that kind of sort of makes sense. And now this Adam Page thing is like, okay, but why? Because MJF was a murderer, wanted to kill Daniel Garcia, kind of did kill Daniel Garcia, and then that just kind of faded away.
It's been really weird. But yeah, this promo from MJF is the same thing we've been hearing, same thing, him being heelish. Hangman Page comes in, tells MJF to leave his ring so he can have his match. Hangman Page has a squash match against local talent.
Local talent. I mean, but didn't even let him get it. He just got him with the regular clothesline.
It's crazy out here.
It's over. Like, right. Okay, then why even have the...
This was weird. Okay. Hangman ends up, he wins. He leaves the ring. As he's going up the ramp, we are met by former corporate Christopher Daniels in a neck brace because of the Texas death match from last week him and, Hangman had. Basically said, like, on air, reiterates, be like, you have retired me. I am not wrestling anymore. I hope what you wanted. And Hangman goes off into the sunset looking like a sad little cowboy. I was like, Hangman, are we feeling regret about our choices recently? That's
out of nowhere. Crazy. Like, I thought he was like, cowboy up. Yeah, we're going to do some cowboy shit.
Now he's a sensitive cowboy.
Yeah, now he's crying. Sorry, I broke your neck. Like, what? The pivots and whiplash from some of these. I guess they're trying to do them quickly. That's what I chalked up. It was like, maybe I missed something somewhere, but it seems like everyone else was sort of like, no, it's just kind of showed up.
I mean, I'm here for a babyface Hangman, but I feel like there needs to be like, if we're going to do it quickly, we got to at least have like 2 or 3 instances and steps that make it a logical reasoning as to why Hangman goes to babyface. Who knows? If he ends up feuding with MJF, that's definitely a good way to do so. But hopefully we get more show and less of not telling us because I want to see the progression of Hangman to go back to being babyface. But squash match was what it was. Segment with, Christopher Daniels.
We move on. And Australia comes back.
Speaking of Australia, so Harley Cameron, we're coming back to you. So Renee out here doing the good Lord's work because she is trying to interview Mercedes 4-belt.
Look at her face. Look at Renee's face.
And then Harley Cameron comes in to sing a song as to why Mercedes should accept challenge for the TBS championship for Harley at Australia. And Mercedes' face explains it all. She's like, no.
Yeah.
He just tells her no.
This is fun.
This was cringe and stupid, but in the best way possible.
This was fun. This is how you do cringy things on purpose, right? Mercedes Moné holding all those titles. It's like, come on, what did we do? Renee sells this perfectly. Harley's doing some funny troll stuff. Still, it sounds like
so much fun.
I think it was you that sent me the clip when she messed with Mariah May a few weeks back. When we were looking at that, I was like, hot girl. I think I'm intrigued by what she's doing. We'll see where this goes. It doesn't have to go anywhere, but this sort of fills the void left to me from the funny promos of AEW old. Like, I like this.
Right. So Harley is going to have a busy week because we will bring her up when we talk about Collision. because she found herself a new enemy, which I'm kind of here for. So Mercedes is like, ew, no. Good luck with all that. Loved it. We got a round 2, Julia Hart versus Jamie Hayter, which was a really solid match. So listen, anytime, I'm so happy that Julia's back. Anytime Jamie gets to be in the ring and just knock a bitch out, like, I'm here for it. And so Jamie does is pick up the victory here. Spoiler alert. I love the promo even more afterwards. She's like, you got one, I got one. Down the line, we have one more rubber match. I'll see you later, bitch. And like, gets her bicep, which could probably crush me.
I haven't seen too much Jamie Hayter. I've always liked what I've seen, and I know she was out for a while. They were crushing each other.
Oh
my goodness.
I definitely love this second interaction. Now that Julia's been back for a little bit, it's gotten a little bit more reps in. This is definitely better than their first interaction when Julia came back from injury. So I love this.
Hayter pulling her feet out and pulling her off the turnbuckle on her face. That was took the breath out of me for a second. Like, there's something Julia did too. I don't know if it was an elbow or something, but it got her so flush. I was like, you killed her. Like, you just, oh my God, it could have been the hair moving too. I'm not exactly sure, but they worked snug, as we like to say. It was a great women's match. You know, I don't know what the first one was. I'm definitely interested in a rubber match. I don't know if we're going to see, like we saw in another promotion where there's like 8, which that would mean, I wouldn't mind that.
Hey, you know what? Consistent women's storytelling. That's a crazy idea.
Hayter's coat as a theater person. Look at that.
I want it so bad. I'm like,
detective.
Yeah. It's giving me, it's like Dick Tracy, but in female form, walked out.
There you go. Yeah. It was lovely stylized choices.
I love it. Yeah, I'm excited. Whenever we get the rubber match, I'm here for it. These two killed it. This was fantastic. We love it. Swerve is about to kill, not Ricochet. His name is Trevor from now on.
Are we calling him Trevor?
Well, his real name is Trevor. And so last week, when I was talking about the promo that Ricochet gave, because on the graphic, it showed him bloody to mess, looking like a serial killer with the glasses on. I'm like, that is not Ricochet. That is Trevor. So the serial killer. So Swerve is about to end Trevor next week, or in 2 weeks, I should say. And I'm just like, oh, this match is going to be great. Swerve about to get his hands on this bald man's head.
I kind of like serial killer Ricochet.
Me too.
There's something about suit and tie glasses murderer where I haven't quite seen it done like that. Right. And I saw the clips of what happened previously in the scissors and the knife and the other. So I was like, ooh, I've never seen that side of. Ooh, it's very different. And if Ricochet refines it and creates what he needs to create out of it, that could be really cool.
Oh, 100% agree.
So I don't know how long it's going to be this murder by night, hold it knife point thing, because gimmicks like that tend to wear out.
Giving me Night Stalker vibes. It's crazy out here.
Yeah,
I'm expecting Kolchak to come investigate. Like,
nice. We'll see. Yeah. I mean, Swerve Ricochet. I mean, come on, that's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Pairing them up is brilliant. So yeah,
love it. Swerve vows to get his hands on Trevor. They about to drop the hottest mixtape of the year.
This is like this. Look at this. It's like a rap group from Belfast. Look at them. Like they're just walking the streets like this.
So this is this vignette. We get this pre-tape promo because, of course, Mr. Malachi Black, Aleister Black, however you want to call him, Mr. Black is wrapping up with AEW. And so last couple of weeks, we've been pulling these like teases of like with Mr. Cope and Will Ospreay telling them that, you know what, they could take the reins and move forward. And Will also telling Buddy Matthews and Brody King, should they ever need somebody in their corner, that Will be in them. So this is the formal introduction to the, Hounds. I want to call it the Hounds of Cerberus because it sounds better. So
is that what they said? I don't know what their name is.
I mean, on paper, it's the Hounds of Hell, but I'm going to call them the Hounds of Cerberus. Regardless, there's a whole dog in this promo, which I need more pre-tape promos to involve animals because that was, again, these three look like they're about to drop the hottest mixtape of 2025.
Like them, that's no joke. Yeah, that's the only part of me in theater brain where I'm
that merch money though with these three is cold.
I mean, if you want to cut of the money, then that's different. Just we don't need any leaders. We don't need anyone telling us what to do. Well, then go do your own thing. But we like each other. Okay, fine, sure, great.
Look, as dark as they are, we don't really have too many like true babyface trios. For these three to kind of be a babyface, like
spooky dark gangster rap trio. Yeah, that's cool. I don't mind that.
Gangsta's Paradise is playing in the background
during Halloween. Yeah, that'll be perfect.
It's so funny watching Brody King's on-screen character being this dark, intimidating thing. Behind the scenes, complete teddy bear.
Oh, yeah. This massive, everybody wants to give him a hug.
I want him to give me a hug. I need dad hugs. And just him and his deep voice is like,
I'm proud of you. You want to play Pokemon?
oh! Yeah. He's ironically funny. I love him. Taking care of Julia and the rest of these young kids out on the road for AEW.
I feel like Julia's standing
on them platforms.
There's no way she's up there.
I also just love Buddy Matthews is just out here existing and having a good time. Everybody pokes fun of him because it's like, so how does it feel? He's like, yes, I know. I'm married to the baddest woman in the game right now, and Miss Rhea Ripley's.
He don't have to do nothing.
No, he's just like, I'm good. I love it. They're great. Their Halloween costumes are hilarious. Like when last year, I think it was they were a hot dog and mustard. It was ridiculous.
Brilliant.
Love it. I am looking forward to this faction. We will talk more about them as we get to Collision. But yeah, I'm awaiting for the hottest mixtape of 2025 coming to datpiff.com.
I better not suck.
Please don't. Main event time. This is actually really good. Mr. Cope. I still have to get used to him going by Cope. It is the battle of the one syllable names. It's Cope versus Pop.
I'm not sure why he wanted to do that, but okay.
Still don't know, but that is a choice that I am going to have to learn to respect.
I mean, it's better than Lang.
Look, I'm just going to say this. I am happy that finally Pac is back in the ring. I'm like, I don't know what we've been doing, why he hasn't been in the ring.
Yeah.
This was actually really solid. Pac and Cope actually did really, really good in this one. I was like, you know what, boys? You need a clap.
This was great.
This was a fun main event.
Yeah. Pac took care of Adam quite a bit. There's a few spots in here where I was like, oh, don't crush him there. He just got back. Adam Copeland does some things that I'm like, please don't hurt yourself. As far as like picking him straight up with his back and tossing him with things like any weightlifter will tell you, don't lift things like that. Hang on. There's a moment in here. Pac, they go to the outside. Pac goes nuts, throws him into the apron. And then we start the neck angle of all the neck things that we're going to see for the next 30, 40 minutes in this thing. And every time I thought, oh, you killed him. Like I couldn't, after that moment, I bought it. I couldn't not feel like, oh, you're just trying to murder him. His neck is broken. I don't know how you go from Blackpool Combat Club and dress like you're from a dojo. We shop at Hollister. We're the Death Riders. Come on.
It's like in the background. Yeah, in the background, I just hear, I'm not okay.
They're all 2003 emo kids. Yeah, it's just and Claudio wearing just nice sneakers, nice shirt, and I'm like, what are you, the preppy kids?
Pac is always in his wrestling gear for some reason. Every time we see him like half naked all the time, I'm like, don't you get cold, bro?
Well, yeah, Pac put a lot of time into those abs. Like, he wants to make sure everybody knows.
Hey, you know what? I ain't gonna be mad at it. I was like, you great cheat those things,
but I just don't get. It just feels mute to me. Where I'm like, you're the Death Riders.
This story is still not working. Like, I don't know what needs to happen, but we need to figure it out quickly.
They're kind of floundering here. They've lost a little bit of that narrative edge. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just want something different.
No, because you're not the only one. I agree with you there, because I think there's potential for this Death Rider stuff, but I need more because I like everyone that's involved. But I
make them come out on horses, like your riders. Like do something. I don't know. Anything that alludes to death, like something that's not.
Listen, everybody can wear a black hoodie. Like, honestly, black hoodies are always like a go-to and they can work very, very well.
And entering John, that jerk from the casual, Mel Moxley. Like, come on. Sponsored by Menswear.
It's crazy out here.
Meh. Anyway.
But that does take care of Dynamite. So now let us jump into
conclusion. I know nothing. What happened?
That's okay. So last week we got the return of No Mames Mimosa Joe. So Samoa Joe is back. He's going after the patriarchy. And so actually this match was supposed to happen on Dynamite, but because of travel issues, it got pushed back to Collision Homecoming because the Collision was live at Daly's place.
That's right.
So this is where this was. So it was really nice to be back at Daly's place. And so, yeah, Samoa Joe, Nick Wayne, Mimosa Joe killed Nick Wayne. Like,
fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, it was more competitive than I thought it was going to be. But of course, I had no, disagreement that Joe was going to win. And Joe did, in fact, win.
Awesome.
I'm excited. Nick Wayne is about to be out here wrestling on a couple independent dates. So I'm excited to see him. Him and Marcus Mathers are about to have a crazy match at Defy Wrestling next week.
Good for them.
So Washington representing Defy Wrestling in Washington. Swerve's going to be there too. It's going to be crazy. So, and we get to see Ricky Starks wrestle finally.
Is that where he is?
He's facing Kenta for the Defy Championship. It's going to be great.
Really?
Kenta versus Ricky Starks. I'm here for that.
I wonder why the GCW thing drives me nuts. All right.
Yeah. So Samoa Joe picks up the victory over Nick Wayne. This was a fun opener, and Joe's not done because he's looking to go after Kip Sabian and eventually Christian. It's gonna come and catch up to you guys. I can't wait. This was also a banger. Okada versus Commander. This was a champion versus champion match. No championships were on the line, but of course, this was fantastic. Commander out here putting in the work as our ROH men's television champion, Okada as our continental champion. I enjoyed this match. This is great. Okada does pick up the victory here by being heel Okada and then, beats up on Commander afterwards. Fantastic. Love to see it.
Fair. Yeah. I like Commander.
And that's going to be my opinion of a bunch of these matches. Collision always has some really good, solid, and a lot of storytelling. That was crazy. But this was a great match. This was fantastic.
What is this?
So backstage, Big Boom AJ and, Big Justice do the boom with Adam Cole before their match. And of course, Big Boom AJ is going to be involved at Revolution in March. So get those reps in. I applaud this man because his match against QT Marshall on 0 Hour of Full Gear back in November should not have been as entertaining. And the fact he wrestled the entire match with a broken foot is crazy.
Yeah, that's rough. Goodness.
Speaking of roughness.
Ooh.
I have some. I'm going to start with praises and then I'm going to get into.
So Kyle doesn't hate Adam anymore.
No. Okay. So here's the thing. So at Full Gear, when when Adam Cole lost to MJF at World's End,
right?
MJF decided to try to beat down Mr. Cole and with the Dynamite diamond ring. O'Reilly and Roderick Strong and the rest of the Undisputed Kingdom all came out to do the same. They all hugged it out. So these three, along with Matt Taven and Mike Bennett of the Undisputed Kingdom, they're all Undisputed Kingdom. So there's 5 of them in this little faction. Right. And so because they've been kind of beefing with Daniel and Daddy Magic, and so they're like, the numbers don't add up. There's 3 of us and 2 of you. And last week Daniel's like, don't worry, we're gonna make a phone call, which results in the other half of 2.0 with Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. So Cool Hand returns to the ring for this one. He's enjoying dad life. Him and Ruby Soho are enjoying their first child together, which is really nice. Love to see that. But yeah, this is Daniel Garcia in 2.0, which is Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange taking on the Undisputed Kingdom of Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong. Spoiler alert, the Undisputed Kingdom do pick up the victory here, which I would not be surprised if this inevitably leads to Daniel, defending his title against Adam Cole or one of the other 3 members of this faction. It was a good match.
Good, yeah.
But I don't want Daniel to lose the title quite yet. But who knows? We'll see what happens with all of that.
We haven't seen... I don't remember the last time I saw Daddy Magic in the ring. I've just heard him as an announcer for months.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I forget. I was like, I like you guys wrestling.
You're good at that, yeah.
You're good at this. You should keep doing it. So
you got a future in this.
No, so I mean, I love this feud that we got going on. I'm a little worried though, because I feel like for me personally, it's too soon to put the TNT Championship on Cole or anybody of the Undisputed Kingdom so quickly, especially since Daniel Garcia barely got the thing at Full Gear after beating, the scapegoat Jack Perry.
Yeah, I hope they're not making him a transitional guy. I know he's young. I know they probably want to put something back on Adam Cole. That doesn't surprise me. I don't mind him dropping the title if it's a great match, and then maybe we get the rematch or something else. But I do agree that's a quick turnaround. That's not fair to him. He's shown that he could carry these storylines and that the crowd's behind him. Give him some run.
I hope so. Look, please don't. It was already tough enough for Private Party to be transitional champions.
Sure. Yeah.
I will cry for like a couple days. Daniel Garcia also ends up being transitional champion.
That'd be rough. I hope not. I know he's young and I know he's on the bottom of the pecking order probably. And I'm glad he's got the title.
We shall see what happens.
Yep.
So we get a teaser because we have had a certain luchador missing, but we are getting the tease that Hologram is coming back really soon. Oh. I've actually missed Tony Khan's project of Hologram. He's fantastic, but he's been out on injury, but it seems that we are getting Hologram coming back fairly soon, which makes me super excited.
That's cool.
And then, of course, my final thought of this whole entire segment. Okay, so let me do the actual recap and then we can talk.
Oh, man. Wow.
So this face-to-face it was made during Dynamite last week on, Collision and Dynamite Maximum Carnage. because Toni Storm did win the Casino Gauntlet match to face Mariah for the AEW Women's World title at Grand Slam Australia. And so she would get the chance here to do a face-to-face. So at the beginning of this, we have Tony Time, our young upstart in AEW, wanting to meet Mariah May, talking good things about her, loving her. She's been a huge fan, has done so much for the women of AEW. Mariah just being the heel and beats up on Tony. They have to pull in security and the ref to pull them apart. Mariah gets out of the ring with her title, leaving Tony on the floor. And then Tony gets a microphone, and Tony Time does not appear. We get the affectation we are so used to. You thought I've forgotten? And at this point, I absolutely, in the best way possible, lost my gourd of a mind. Mariah does such a good subtlety. She turns around. She's like, nah, that can't be. And then Tony gets back into Timeless One. She takes off her pants and she has the fishnets underneath. And then, of course, she yells, is like, I will have my vengeance.
Yeah.
With the smeared makeup and everything. I couldn't get the picture of Mariah, but Mariah's just staring. It's like, oh, I done effed up. I'm like, oh no. That's crazy is back in the building. So literally Mariah slapping Tony and beating her up has brought the Timeless One back. And she's like, this was the greatest performance of my career so far. And the next one is coming soon because I will take back what is mine.
I didn't even see this. This might be on my list for promos of the year. I gotta go find
it. Check out the clip that AEW posted on the YouTubes. It is great. Yeah. And again, this is my thought.
There it is.
Absolute.
You mentioned it the other day, and I was wondering how they did the pivot from there. Oh, that's so cool. I'm excited.
This is the best character right now in like the last 2 years of not just women's characters, but any character for me, period.
I don't think she played to the fans, right? I don't think that's what this was, but there were a lot of fans going, I'm bored with it. I'm tired of it. And then the way she's done this second act break.
The swerve, right? No Strickland.
Yeah. We got a full, 2.5 months of, and like it totally broke away and I won't say we forgot, but just long enough to where we had some bit of a distance. She pulled the rug is my impression. I got to go watch it, but brilliant. That's fun.
Yeah, I loved it. And again, my final thoughts about this whole entire segment, absolute cinema.
Perfect.
Again, when we get closer to Grand Slam Australia, I was like, I don't know, maybe Tony will take it back. Who knows? We'll see what happens. I mean, we're in her hometown.
So Australia, you're not gonna, you kind of want the homers to win in big countries.
We'll see. This was a beefy match, and I loved every single minute of it. I'm happy that the Gates of Agony actually got to showcase themselves, because on paper, I'm like, Brody King and Buddy Matthews are gonna win, and they did. But man, the big boys of Gates of Agony, Bishop Khan and Toa Leona, taking on Brody King and Buddy Matthews. This is a hoss fight. And of course, we got some meat chants, which was great.
I like Gates of Agony. We never see them on Dynamite ever.
Right.
Never.
They're usually on Ring of Honor, but I'm loving that they're on Collision. So yeah, this is a fun match. The Hounds of Cerberus do pick up the victory here. So Brody King and Buddy Matthews, loved it. It was a good hoss fight, and that's what it is meant to be. I loved it. Tony Khan, keep booking Gates of Agony because I love these two. They're fantastic.
Perfect. That's great.
This was also a banger.
What is this madness? Okay.
So this is a fatal 4-way match. The winner would go on to next week to face Mercedes Moné for the TBS Championship on Dynamite. So in contention for this number one contendership includes Miss Queen Aminata, who very tall lady, love her. She was fantastic to talk to last year in New Jersey. Miss Deonna Purrazzo, who I love and, is representing the Vendetta. So her and Taya Valkyrie. Returning from injury and having like 2 or 3 matches before this, Miss Yuka Sakazaki from Japan and Stardom and all that good stuff. And of course, the other professor we know, Serena Deeb, the professor of 1,000 holds. She's really solid.
I'm a big Serena Deeb fan. The few matches I've gotten to see of hers before I had to leave for however long. This was a good match. This was fun. I might have to just go watch Collusion. Do I have to watch all the Collusion?
Or at least like watch the matches at least, because they do the quick bites, which is fantastic.
Collision,
loved it.
Not Collusion. It's not lawyers. It's right. Sorry, Mike.
You're right. So there's a lot of fun spots. I also really love because Harley does get involved in this match because she caused Deonna Purrazzo the win. So Yuka Sakazaki does pick up the victory here. And it seems that the Vendetta now has a new target. So Taya and Deonna are going to be going after Harley. kind of makes me excited. And since it's a 2-on-1 situation, if they play this right, because there's somebody who feuded with Harley towards the tail end of 2024, who has come to love her, and Harley has grown on her like a rash, so to speak. But I am all for this, that the numbers game is too much. Now we're into fantasy booking. So Deanna and Taya are definitely going to come after Harley. Harley's going to need some backup, but who is to come back up Harley Cameron? But the woman who feuded with her for like 2 or 3 months, and Miss Thunder Rosa. So I would love Thunder to like somehow be like, I'm still not 100% sure of Harley, but nobody deserves to be beat up kind of mentality.
I like that the women are doing something like that.
That's what I'm saying.
It seems like we got storylines and stuff going, right? Because there was a good 6 months there where it was only Tony Storm doing anything, whether it was
which we loved, but we wanted
great,
more.
And then everything else kind of stalled out. We weren't seeing anybody, at least on Dynamite. I know Collision was doing some stuff. This is fun. I like everything you're describing.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that's the case. And you know what, Tony Khan, you can take that idea for free. I don't need a residual check. Like, I just want to see more women's storylines outside of our championships.
Careful, Tony Khan will send lightning to your house. He knows how to do it.
That is very true. But we are getting Yuka Sakazaki and Mercedes Moné next week on Dynamite, or tomorrow night, I should say. So it should be a fun match.
Oh my gosh, that's tomorrow? God, time's an illusion. Goodness gracious.
This is the best pitch here I could find, but Hobbs and Large William have a fight in the parking lot. It was so good. Like, I love that Powerhouse Hobbs is now going to decimate the learning tree. I'm like, I'm here for Jericho getting beat up by Powerhouse Hobbs.
I kind of like that we're seeing the learning tree start to shift and break up, possibly, now that we know that Jericho has kind of announced the retirement, has alluded to retirement, has alluded to leaving someday.
The fact that he got mad at Large William for wanting to learn from his losses, and Jericho's like, no, you need
the learning tree, Chris. Yeah. Again, I love how campy and bad Large William is on the mic. I just think it's fun and funny.
I have grown to love it. And I'm like, when he turns babyface, it's going to be so good.
Him with the lollipop in his mouth is the best Big Bill.
Oh,
him with lollipop being flirty and dumb. Him and Hobbs are going to be fun together. That's a lot of space they're going to take up. And I'm a Hobbs guy. I like Hobbs. I'm a homer.
Liz, this is going to be a large man versus large man match. I am here for it all. And I'm happy that we get to see Hobbs continue to be on screen, because I was worried after he lost the, Mox. I was like, oh, okay, we're not going to see it. No, we're still getting him involved in storyline. So I'm here for it. And I love that Hobbs was just like, I'm going to wait for you in the parking lot, waits in parking lot, and then sees Large William is like, all right, it's on site.
Old school shit. Yeah.
Love it.
Wow. I mean, that's better than Olive Garden.
This was actually really solid. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, y'all have a 5th member? What the flip? So basically, this is the Don Callis, family dinner. Of course, we have, Takeshita in his sunglasses, Kyle Fletcher looking like he's out here on a business meeting. Lance Archer just walked off of his night shift at Thunder from Down Under. And the crazy thing is Brian Cage is the most normal looking one here. He's just in a regular t-shirt. He looks like he's about to, it's looked like in like 15 minutes, he has to go pick up the kids from school.
Yeah, that beard makes him just look like a normal dad, right? He just looks like a guy. Yeah, it's funny.
The funny part is Brian Cage, the way he looks, he's a suburban dad who drops off the kids at school. And then when he, at the actual house, he's out here doing like videos.
There's photos of him. His kid lives in Chico where I teach. And, he went to his graduation like last year. And it was like, oh, Brian Cage is just a dad. Oh, cool. Like,
I love Brian Cage. But, the Don Callis family, they have a dinner. They talk about everything that's going on, especially, with Will and Kenny Omega. They're going to need some stuff. And so I forgot which one of these 4 mentions that they need another member. And Don Callis is like, oh, you didn't know? We have a 5th member. And then we end the segment and I'm sitting here. I'm like, who is the 5th member? I was like, now you actually have me intrigued. I'm mad.
And we don't know yet, right? We don't know.
No, I have no clue who this 5th member is. So
whoever approaches Will and Kenny Omega is the 5th member.
I mean, that could be it.
Whoever offers them help
is going to be the 5th member. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, please don't let it be Mark Davis. Because for me, it would be a little weird because Mark Davis and Kyle really haven't had any time to like make up and reflect upon, Kyle turning heel and betraying Will and all that. But who knows? We'll see what happens with all of that. I did not include a picture, but Max Caster is now on his own because the Acclaim broke up last week.
Really?
Anthony Bowen's like, deuces, I'm out, and Billy Gunn decided with Anthony Bowen. So
wow. Well, we were calling for that at one point. We were like, hey, the singles, they're gonna do really great stuff.
So Max Caster is on his own, and he laid out an open challenge. And if the reports are to believe, we might be getting the debut of a certain Speedball Mike Bailey in AEW, which has me excited.
When? Tomorrow?
Next week, either tomorrow or during Collision when it has this match.
Oh my!
I hope that's what it is, but who knows?
Well, again, if it makes sense, they're not going to do it, right? The things that we like, I don't know.
It could be. I'm hoping it's Speedball. Look, there's a lot of TNA folks whose contracts are coming up. Like Speedball supposedly going to AEW. Jordan Grace just signed a multi-year deal with WWE as of yesterday morning. So Josh
Bishop Dyer seems to be out there as a free agent.
Jonathan Gresham, Jordan Grace's husband, is also a free agent. So
Andrew and I were talking about him.
Yeah, but we also have a lot of people coming in. Like Mustafa Ali is back in TNA, which is crazy to me. Joe Hendry is a champion. NXT folks are popping in now, so that's fun. Like, it's fun to be wrestling, and I cannot wait to see who this fifth member is. Hopefully, the reveal will be this week or next week.
Goldberg. That's nice AEW.
Match of the night. Match of W. This shit was amazing. But yeah, this match was everything. I highly recommend y'all to go watch this match because it is so good. And, you can either watch it on YouTube TV or Max because you can watch all the stuff. It's great now. And yeah, so this main evented. We Don't Deserve Shibata. These two threw it down. It was a great championship match. And I'm just like, I need a rematch. Like, nah, give me one more. Give me one more. But yeah, that brings us to the end of Collision and the end of AEW programming for this past week.
Nice. Are we throwing empanadas at this one or no?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Because I only watched the Dynamite. But the Dynamite was a very very high empanada rating, like 8, maybe 8.7, like very much high. The only thing that keeps it from 9 and 10 are some of the awkward things in between and narrative stuff that I'm bringing to it. But as far as the matches and what we saw, I mean, very, very well done.
I agree. I give Dynamite like 8.5 empanadas. I give Collision like 8.25, but I give it like a solid 8.3 for this week of AEW. I know Adolfo gets mad because you can't have a point decimal of empanada, but
yeah, if you eat 0.3 of an empanada, someone like
Adolfo's gonna pop up in this chat and be like, "How dare you?" But you know what? We can do this because why? This is our show.
We're gonna eat empanadas in front of Adolfo and be like, "Look, half." And then put it down and just see how long until he just gets angry.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to film that shit when he comes in April and then send it to the group chat. It's going to be amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm excited. I can't wait for him and Minnie and hopefully some other folks to be popping.
We're going to try and swing it. We're going to see how we can play this game.
So we will figure it out. We'll talk more offline, but good job, AEW. You had a solid week and hopefully this week is really great for you too. We are 3 weeks away from Grand Slam Australia, so not a pay-per-view. It's going to be a special show. It's going to take the place of Collision that Saturday, so it's not a separate pay-per-view. So we are going to be covering Grand Slam Australia during our regular review of Dynamite, so it'll be Dynamite and Grand Slam Australia. So can't wait for all of that. But that's going to wrap us up here for All Elite. But before we go, just to give you a quick preview of the remainder of the week, Ensemble. So we are currently at the 28th of January. So we just finished our AEW review. Tomorrow is a double dose of reviews with NXT and CMLL. Thursday, as of right now, myself and Andrew will be back because GCW went to London this past weekend. And basically it was GCW versus Progress Wrestling, which was a banger. And me and Andrew, as of right now, will be reviewing it for your pleasure.
I might stop in just to talk about it because I like GCW. But yeah, we'll see what we can do.
It's fantastic. Friday, myself and Will be back to talk about TNA after we covered the Genesis pay-per-view last week. And we're back with just a regular weekly episode. So that's exciting. And then, of course, finally, on Sunday, by the council that is in El Jefe, which is me, a BC WrestlePod, we are going to be reviewing the Royal Rumble Sunday morning in lieu of our regular WWE review. So myself, the professor, our newest member, Kilt, and a few other folks who might pop in for this review. Our WWE pay-per-view crew is very large, so I'm excited to have all that. But that is what you can expect from us this week. So like a normal week, but also a busy one, which I'm excited for.
I don't think we never have a down week. There's always something busy.
Well, I mean, technically next week we do, because then this leads into my last announcement. There will be no AEW review next week. We will be going dark because your boy has to chaperone a field trip. So,
well, yeah, do that. Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm excited for all of that.
Yeah, I got a few of those coming up. I got to drive people to places. It's going to be interesting.
It's going to be a banger. So, from myself and the professor and the rest of the BC Wrestle Pod family, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We will catch you later, but until then, and MXM Collection, I think you have to play us out.
Let's get out of here. Johnny TV style.
Thank you so much for tuning in to another Vibe Tribe production. What's gonna happen next time? Well, you're gonna have to tune in to find out. But until then, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, and as always, make sure that you keep the good times rolling. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.